I would like to introduce our first speaker, KJ. It's you. That's a Maxwell. It's you. KJ is from the Bay Area. He is an amazing light. He does work for the community here with an organization called HHRC in downtown Tay, working with youth 15 through 25. And the young man is only a young man himself, so that says a lot. Come on up here, brother.
This texting me saying, please come through around 3 something.
I pull up with my peelies, it was over. The chain matched the whip, the rims Kobe. She fiendin' and she thirsty, so she obey. She snorted the coke off the dick and called it okay. At this point, I really need a robot. The game so separate, got his own box. I ain't always.
So, yeah, this is a brand new experience for me, to be honest, and I'm very nervous to be on this stage. But I'm gonna be honest, it's an honor to be here, and it's a blessing to be here as well. Like, to be honest, one of the things that we learned in this class that we took, Drop the Act, and I kind of already knew before, if you ever know what an ego death is, and you just kind of get in tune with the source and just knowing that, you know, you meet no one but yourself. And I just got to salute everybody here. Like, I appreciate everybody being here. And, yeah, salute. And it's a blessing to be here, to be honest. Like, I had to learn a long journey. It's a lot of shit I went through. But at this current moment in time, like, I'm just going to be honest, I can't be anything but grateful. And, yeah, let me rewind for a second. You know, I always knew from the time I was like 5 years old, you know, like I was really, really different from everybody else. And I kind of felt lonely and like I didn't really know where to fit in. I was always too kind-hearted, too sensitive. People called me soft. People called me a bitch, this and that, you know. So I'm like, why is it that I'm so different from everybody else? And I just had to realize, like, if you're one of the chosen ones, you can't deny your purpose. And it took me a long time to do that. To be honest, it took me a long time to find the power of my voice as well. And I haven't been on the mic in a couple years, so forgive me if I sound a little nervous. But yeah, it's just like, it's a crazy feeling to realize how much I grew up. Like, a couple years ago, I could never see myself being in this position I am right now. And that's like Denzel said, I'm blessed to be a part of this nonprofit organization. I'm a program coordinator for youth between the ages of 16 and 25. And to be honest, I really want to work from the ages between 5 to 16. I want to get them like young, as young as possible. And that's always been one of my things, to work with kids, because they say kids are closest to God, and that's why you see the light shine from them. And the more I learn about life, I realize, like, you gotta have the heart of a child. Like, you gotta be able to have that childlike mind and to see the world with open eyes, and just, you know, not be stuck in a programming or any preset mind. You know, anything that you feel like you can't be stuck in your ways. You know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and I refuse to be old. You know, age is just a number. You know, I feel like I'm gonna forever be young. So when I become quote unquote a old dog, just know I'm gonna always learn some new tricks, no matter what day it is. And yeah, it's just a blessing to be here. Like, to be honest, I had a cycle where I was trying to find myself, and after I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I always, and not to brag or anything, because I feel like being in the school system, this ain't really nothing to brag about. This shit, I realized a lot of black kids don't like being in class for a reason because it's not really meant for us, you know. But back when I was in high school, I always was at the top of class, and I could have been valedictorian if I wanted to. But at some point in time, I felt like it wasn't right for me, and I was like, why are we taking, what the fuck is the A through G requirements? Like, what is this for? You know? And then everybody wanted me to go to college, like all my teachers, and thank God I was blessed with some really good teachers. You know, I never had the issue of having a bad teacher unless that I can remember. Like everybody that I had in my life, I always connected with, and I enjoyed being in class. I enjoyed learning new things, and that's another thing why I was different from everybody else. Like, people didn't like being in class. People, it's like, what are we doing here? And I was one of those people that was actually engaged with everything, and I wanted to succeed. But then at some point in time, I think it was sophomore year or junior year, I was like what I'm doing here, I started to question life, like on a deeper level. You know, they try to feed you what life is and what society is, and I'm like, it's something deeper here. Like, what are we doing here? You know, and now I'm starting to realize, like, the purpose of me being here is just to be myself. And like Denzel said, I feel like love. I don't subscribe to any religion, but I do believe in a higher power, and I feel like love is quote unquote my religion. Like, I really got a lot of love in my heart. And it's good to see you again. And yeah, I feel like it's just a blessing to be able to discover yourself, like to find your true self. Like, it was a lot of de-shedding the layers I had to do. I read a book once, and a lot of people might know it's called The Diary of Anne Frank. And what really stuck out to me about this journal, her journal entries, was she said that it was two different Annes. It was the first Anne and the second Anne, and how, you know, when she was around people, she couldn't be herself, and she had to put on a mask. And I could relate to that so much. And I'm like, she wanted to find a way to bring out the second Anne, who was her true self. And I was like, damn, I think I was like 19 at the time I read this. I was like, wow, that's like me my whole life. Every time I get into a situation, I put on this mask. And yeah, like at one point in time, I would freeze up on stage, like even right now. Me even talking on stage is like, it's crazy. But it's really crazy because I felt like that second Anne that she was talking about, I had to find the second me, the real me, and bring it out and stop being fake and just stop really giving a fuck about what anybody got to say about me. And they say that if you care about other people's opinions, you'll always be their prisoner. So that stuck out to me too, because I didn't realize my whole life I was a prisoner to other people's opinions. I was afraid of humiliation, like being humiliated, embarrassed or whatnot. And yeah, that really doesn't matter. I really don't like talking for too long. I feel like I get tired of my own voice. And I be saying this all the time because I do these workshops with kids, and it's this very powerful group I do called Brother for Brother, which is a peer support group with young men. And I was honored to be the facilitator for this group. And we had a cohort back in February. In the first session we had, I didn't even know these people from a can of paint. And not to mention it was COVID-19, so we had to do it through a Zoom, virtually on Zoom. And I knew I was doing the right thing in my life when at the end of the session, I had somebody crying to the group telling me about how his teacher was harassing him and he almost got into an altercation with his teacher. And I had somebody else telling me he was living in his car. And I was just like, why is it that these people are so vulnerable enough to tell me this? And I'm like, damn. People always told me I had this type of energy. I was always calm. I'm a calm person. And people always vented to me. Like people always told me, put their weight and their frustrations and their pain on me, and I was able to take it in. So even through Zoom, people was able to communicate that with me, and I was like, wow, like I knew I was doing the right thing. And it's definitely, this year had opened so many doors. I got to give credit to Create the Space. I met so many beautiful people, so many great people, and so many powerful people, like people walking in their purpose and people that know what they want to do with themselves. And it took me a long time to get to that point. And yeah, look, I got to say, you know, it's a balance to everything. I had to go through the darkness to get to the light. And yeah, I was in the dark for a while. Yeah, my grandma would tell you, I was in the dark for a while. Like I was going through some shit. And yeah, it took me a few years, but I'm actually blessed because people tell me I'm only 22 years old, and people tell me like I wish I could have had that awareness at such a young age. And yeah, to be honest, it's all God's plan. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Do anybody have any questions? I'm gonna open it up Q&A. You know, Eve, go ahead. So my biggest inspiration was always just following my heart in love, and we did an exercise in the Drop the Act course. We had a list of values, and we had to choose, I think, 5 of those values, or maybe more, and then cross out and keep crossing out values that you feel like you didn't need. And at the end of my list was love. Like I just feel like love is like the universal force that drives everybody to keep on going. And yeah, it's love that really keeps people together, and just being that family, friends. It's the reason why I'm still here today, to be honest. Like it was a point in time where I wasn't suicidal, you could say, but I was at the point where if I went to sleep and I didn't wake up, I wouldn't really care. Like I was just at that point, like I don't really, you know, I didn't give a fuck about myself, and what it was, I didn't love myself enough. So love is what really kept me going. Answer your question. So.
And Frank and stuff, and how you went from, she was saying that she had a face she put on versus her real face. I was just curious from your own experience, going from that low place that you were talking about, how maybe you could give us advice on how to drop the act and not care about what anybody thinks. And yeah, just something I can apply from your experience so I could bring that realer side of me out, the other end. As you said.
So that's a good question. I feel like for me personally, I had to really sit with myself, and you can't run from yourself, and that's the real thing about it. You got to face your fears, and you got to just be in the moment, and that's one of the things we learned in the class as well. And what is the definition of being intimate? And I love the definition that they gave. It's to be passionately and spontaneous in the moment. And I feel like once you let go of the idea of what I have to do and what they will think about me, and just be yourself and just be in the moment and just face that fear, you know, that's when you begin to unlock and break the chains in your mind, you know, and deep inside. Because this is a lot of chains that we don't know. I'm actually doing a presentation about post-traumatic slave syndrome in 2 days, and it's a lot of shit that we've been through, generational, that psychological is still in our minds, and one of the things is we couldn't express ourselves. So I felt like that was a deep thing with me. I couldn't express myself with other people, at least to true capacity, to the way I wanted to. So yeah, you just gotta sit with yourself, and you can't run from yourself. You can't run from your truth, honestly. Yeah. Hey, DJ, can you play my song one time, please? I just gotta hear it.
So, man, how beautiful.
Yeah, it's all God.
This nigga just keep getting better. always amazed, man. I'm proud of you. Putting Portland on the map, yeah. This shit different. Hey, you ever seen a demon with a halo? Hey, took some L's, but I'm okay though. It's all moving as planned. When your boys see you as the man,